Oh, yes. Right, right. I'm driving a Buick LaCrosse, the 2013. Really nice. I love them. I love the American car. A lot of people like big sports cars, but I love my Buick LaCrosse. It's a nice car. Yeah, exactly. Live out in Texas. That's where we get to get the big road trips. But yeah, but I wanted to do them both. I didn't want to leave teaching, and I like kids. I really like the kids. I liked working with them. I felt like I could do it with trading. I could do it both. I could you know trade in the evenings or trade in the early morning, and I could still be in my classroom by 8 o'clock and really have some fun with the kids. So and the I did. Yeah, I'm full time now. Yeah, exactly. I'm full time trader, and I do coaching and mentoring as well. But yeah, so but some of the people that I looked up to in the trading, Larry Pesavento, Linda Ratchke, um, the big Mark Douglas, that disciplined trader. He was a big influence in my trading. And a little, I tell you what, a guy that gets a bad rap is Wade Cook. Wade Cook was a big influence when I first traded options, but because it really exposed the market, let me know that what was possible, and in the market, and that's what it inspired me that I could. I think we see. I think we see parity. I think it's a big interest rate. It's a big interest rate issue here, where Janet Yellen dropped the big bomb last week, in which she said we're going to raise rates, and she gave a date, 2015. Well, guess what? There's only about 5 months left, or 6 months left in 5 months left in 2015. So we're going to get. She said we're getting a rate hike, and so that's going to be interest rates are a big driver for currency values, and so we can see that the U.S. dollar is appreciating. That's why gold took the big dump. People are looking yield, and I love dollar yen. That's I think that's gonna the screen to the upside. Dollar CAD, dollar yen. Yeah, sure. Oh, definitely. Oh, that's right. I'm not sharing my screen. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and get that up. Uh, yeah. Actually, I'm in California right now. This is where I'm vacationing right now. Where you live? No way. San Pedro? San Diego. Okay, I'm in Gardena, which is a little bit south of Los Angeles, Torrance area. But yeah, I have students. I have a student, Neil Kaplan, down in San Diego, and we're thinking about going down to the zoo in Legoland, and and uh, I have a lot of windows open. Let me go ahead and should close these up. I apologize. I've got simulators. I do a little, and let's go ahead. Pull that. Uh, Well, I think it's a jobless. It's basically a jobless recovery. I mean, not jobless, but I mean, usually when you have a recovery. Right, right, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that there's only people working a handful of jobs, 3 or 4 jobs to make up what it costs, maybe what you can make in one job. And a lot of the people who come to me for mentorship and for training, I mean, a lot of them are doing it because, like, well, they give them some severance pay from the other job, or they're working a handful of jobs that maybe they can learn trading and really get and make a little extra income. But we're not getting the big job, the 400,000. Remember those numbers? We used to have 400,000 job growth. Right, exactly. And there's no surety, there's no confidence. Yeah. Well, it's all a matter of managing risk and finding high probability setups over and over again repeatedly. And if you can't find those, and I see most of the people I surveyed about 1,200 of my subscribers, and the main problems they came up with is confidence in entering a trade, being able to, yeah, fear, and and if you're basically fearful because when you press the button, if you press the button and lose, what's going to happen is you're going to make bad trading decisions. I mean, because you're gonna be afraid to take a trade because you get burned again because you're not confident in the system. And so I think, like if you see some of my traders, they have they have maybe like for instance Tracy Anderson. She came in number 2 in the top trader contest. And I coached her, and she had 34 trades in a row without a loss to take second place. And she had never. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now I can. Okay, let me go ahead and share. Okay, we're on the right network, and they always hide that Skype share. It's like right under call and share screen. Got it. Okay, layout and should be right. And right. Okay. 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 There we go. And let me go ahead and get you there to that. Yes. Yeah. And I'll start out with that daily chart, and I will look for retests of significant areas of key of support, like we just had just now. I have a morning show, Good Morning Forex Asia, and I basically highlight these levels, and then I look. This is what I'm looking at. I was looking at this drop down to that 108.12, which was the low from about May 20th. And then from there, I'm looking for some type of a scalp target to the upside, a little rebound there, and I'll drill down to a lower time frame chart. Now, this is the method that I taught Tracy, let me go ahead and let's just drill down. Drill down to the 4-hour chart, our dealer charts, and you can see we had a little doji indecision candle breakout above the trend line, and now you've got a little bit of a correction where we could look maybe a little bit higher, maybe up to that 109, the figure. Okay, and so I would is a little bit of a counter trend scalp, which I would look to short again from that level of resistance. So I'm looking at prices moving, basically scalping from significant levels of support, whole number, round numbers to resistance, and so that's what now Tracy was struggling. She wanted to. She was in the in the last rounds of the top trader contest, and she needed a little bit of a boost in her trading. And that's not it. Right here. Okay. Okay. And let's see if I can. This is. I had my interview with her from the top trader. Okay. And okay. And yeah. And she was people counted her out. People didn't think that she was going to be a great trader, and being a female, it was another obstacle. But I was able to help her. Well, I think her obstacle was her own belief system because many women believe it's an all men a boys club, an all male game, and right, exactly. Mi- Mrs. Watanabe, exactly, and and but but people, we see it from the outside as men. You say, hey, they have advantages, but they don't see it, and that's what a coach is. A coach is actually there to highlight the strengths that you have as well as pointing out the weaknesses. And basically, I said, what to do. Okay, you just need a set of rules and to follow them to execute on a regular basis. So you and practice in simulation and on paper, so you can overcome that fear flight response. Okay, and then you can go from an intuitive. You can pull the trigger based on what you see instead of what you believe or what you feel. Okay, and this is Tracy's test, which is I had spent last 2 years with limited success, despite spending thousands of coaching from a well-known educator provided in Australia. After one 30-minute session with Greg, everything became clear. I knew that scalping was the way forward for me. I followed the guidance and coaching that Greg provided, and straight after the coaching session, I had my best week ever. 34 trades with only she had 4 losses. Greg explained things very clearly and quickly, established that my level of knowledge, and adapted his coaching to match that. I would highly recommend Greg to anyone. And that, but basically finding out where people, because everyone has, if you ask anyone, everyone knows what stochastics is, and they know what Fibonacci is, they know these things, but putting them together and then executing, to know the truth and to walk the path are two different things. And that's basically, if you go to any of these webinars or seminars, that the whole deal is that after an hour of being exposed to the information, you're going to forget about 90% of what you heard. And then on the Monday, this is brain research. And then you're going to take that 5% that you remember, and then on Monday, you're going to trade with it. Okay, without any connection, without creating neural paths to reinforce that information so it becomes second nature to you. You're going to forget it, and then you're going to blame the system or blame the course. Well, that teacher didn't do any good, or that course didn't do any good. But the thing about it, you have to have that constant, that reinforcement, and that's why I create. Exactly, they have to make those shifts in their thinking, and once you break those molds, then the human mind is capable of all kinds of things. I have students that do crazy things that are like better than me because they're able to break through. Exactly. What's that? 10,000 hours to mastery. Yeah. Uh, but it's quality. It's a type of screen time too. Is it if you're doing it from a demo account, where you're not going to get immediate feedback? I don't think that's going to be very. It's going to be helpful. But I think having some type of a paper trading system, whether you're covering up the chart and moving it forward, or you're using the Ninja Trader Simulator, or I use Money Truck, or use Forex Tester. Uh, think about the airline pilots before they can take out a multi-million-dollar airplane up in the air. They have to have what? How many hours? Several hundred hours of flight time in the simulation. Or think of a fireman. They have to rescue some dummies out of a fake building, or a police officer on the gun range, or right. Exactly. But a lot of people think they can do this, and then they give up on it, or they really. I think that's yeah, yeah. I agree. Oh, definitely. There's a lots of different ways, and I found that when I had a free chat room a while ago, in which we allowed everyone to bring all their paths together, and it was very confusing. But when I streamlined it to focus on my pip and run strategy, which Marco learned, and a number of people have learned. Andre Carlson learned it. He turned 800 euros to $55,000 in 2 weeks using my strategy, and just using simple indicators and working with me over time. He has totally he evolved in his trading, and I created this portfolio. This is his live account, and some of the trades he took from going from micro. He started with demo. I tell him start with simulation. When you can do 85% in simulation using the strategy, move on to demo, and then after demo, move to 1K lots, and then start scaling from there. When you're hitting 85, 90%, move on to the next. Now, people look at this and they'll think, oh, that's Greg's chart. Greg does this all the time. I go, no, this is my student. When my students can do what I do, that's when I know that's my key that I'm successful, because they take my formula and they apply it, and they're able to have a good results. And but he worked hard. He asked me a lot of questions in my chat room. You know, I tweeted out and supported him. Swedish Pit Mafia, and you never. I tried to go cold turkey, and I got I got the shakes, man. I got withdrawals and stuff. Right. Even on vacation, I was on the. Yeah, I'm on vacation now, but look what I'm doing now. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fine. Now, this is when you get when your student says, "What do you think about this trade?" And I'm like going, "Oh, break of trend line above the 200 simple moving average with MACD crossing the zero all day long." Well, it's a warming, and this is his live account that he did, and he took that 800 euros and he turned it to 55,570 as of March. Now since then he has stepped this up to $300,000, which is very. It's just I'm just not astounded, because I've had students do big things like that before. I had a one-armed trucker guy. He drove a beer truck, and the truck had an accident. This is where I was working at the FXEM at the brokerage, and I was sitting at the desk, and I was a currency. I was a 20-year veteran trader, but after the Refco incident, I had to go back to work, right? So I wound up working at FXEM, and I got promoted to. I was a trading coach for a number of years, 7 years, and then I was a currency analyst when I left. And I had there was a guy that came of an institutional trading. He says, "Hey, there's a guy looking for you." He's like, he's really he's. I go, I didn't do it. Why is he looking for me? I just like I go, guy, Brent, just tell him. He goes, no, 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 no. He says he loves some Greg McLeod. I go, oh no, a stalker now. He's like, no, 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 no. He was a trucker, drove a truck, a beer truck, and then the truck overturned, and he lost his arm, and they gave him a severance pay, you know, and he had no, he had $10,000 in severance pay. He watched one of my webinars, and he saw a part of my system, which I did in one of the webinars, and he turned that 10,000, and he made an additional 25,000, and he was on what they call death ground, where you have one arm, you only have a limited amount of money, and he took it and he put it in the market, and so he yeah, he was crazy. He had nothing. Like, he already lost. I mean, he lost his way of making money. I mean, he lost. I mean, who's going to hire a one-armed trucker? So he had a conviction and compassion, but to call back and to validate what I've been trying to teach for years. But some people just don't want a lot of people to find out certain information, and but he did. And I have lots of stories like that where people were watching Pip and Run, my live show, and they were, basically they were able to make a few extra $100 a day, and they were able to stay home with their kids, or they were able to pay a bill, and then I go, when they canceled my show and they pulled me off that show, and I had so many people saying, "Well, Greg, I go back to work now." I was like, well, why did you tell me or something? I mean, it's like, oh, I thought you were gonna keep doing it forever. It's like, yeah. But it's just a really gratifying thing to see the same feeling I had when I was teaching and helping kids. I'm helping my big kids are growing up. All the kids I taught back in the 90s and the late 80s are in their 30s and 40s now. So I'm basically reconnected with them all over again. It's just a great thing to see them come back and in different forms, different ways, and well, I have a boot camp program where people can be a part of, and see, I have, yeah, and I'm the drill sergeant, exactly. So I have to break it down, the system to get access to my ebook. But I give people there's a free 30-minute coaching session where I, first of all, before I give them size fits all program, I want to find out what they have, what their inventory is, and where we're coming from, so I can customize a product for them. It's free, but it's a $19.95. I make a deposit because if people cancel out, it's like, at least give me $19.95 for my time. But I refund the $19.95 or apply it toward whatever product that they fit with. So after I give them a questionnaire and we talk about, we'll see what program fits. Maybe they need to go to boot camp. Boot camp is our monthly group coaching teleseminar. And that's that runs $497. Okay, but the last one we had was very popular. Last Saturday we had it, and we have a bunch of bonuses that come along with that, including our chat room, also the access to our trading manual. We have my Forex heat map, also live access to me, and also access to the Forex simulator, and a number of other things. No, we have steak knives though, lots of steak knives, but but always. Yes, yes.
So I appreciate you taking some time to discuss some things about psychology from you, and you're looking for a pop in the euro. Why don't you wrap it up? And I know you're probably completely price action, but do you have any biases that we should pay attention to, or you clear the deck every day and it's a new day?
I usually look at a 4 hour chart and really get into, and then I drop down to my five. Now, the four gives me my directional bias, but I'll go down to the 5 minute, and that's probably where I hang out the most after I've got my initial analysis. And so I'll reset. I'll reset. I'll use Elliott wave count and reset it. Because I've already maybe have a my little ABC, right? One, and this maybe this complex two, and maybe we see a either a breakout above the high to maybe complete this, or a break below lows. We have this little triangle here. So every day I'm constantly now. I'll use opening range breakout. I mean, that's my fit. Tony Crable and Mark Fisher are awesome when they talk about opening range breakouts, and I will take the opening range, the pre-market range of the New York session, and plot out price, and then look for let's start, because forex is continuous, not like the futures market where you have an opening, and a closing. And let's say you have Globex where it's continuous, but you find that around that 9:30, 9 o'clock to 9:30, you'll see that consolidation. Then you'll see that breakout. You'll see that opening range. So I'll look at that. What is the see, and then we see we got our break to the north side. And if I want to take a long on that, oh, that's a big one there. But so yeah, so I would look at the opening range breakout, and then basically set my, I got my 9:30 range, which is the opening bell of the stock market, and then look at my like 8:55, and then I'll plot out that range, and then look at where we are in relation to the range. Are we above the? Are we breaking out above the range? Are we breaking down below the range? And then look for something like that. Looking for that.
You know a lot. You're a veteran. I mean, you've talked about a lot of different niches, and so I can tell that you know and it was really a pleasure meeting you. And now our community's aware of you. Congratulations for all the great work and leading people down the path to keep wealthy.
Thank you so much, Dale. It's very an honor, and you're great yourself, and I really just tickled, just awed by your request, and I'm
Well, it was our pleasure. Thank you for spending your most precious currency, which is with us today, Frank.
you're welcome.
All right, buddy. Good hunting.
All right, take care. Cheers. Happy pipping. Bye.